distance. So would the government also consider supporting them in some way so that they could also come back home?
Okay, the lady there, yeah, please.
Hi sir, I'm Amity Sen from Hindu Business Line. So this $2 billion of investments promised by UAE in the food parks under the I2U2. Sir, will that also be a topic of discussion, and what is the status of that?
Can go to Sudhi here.
Sir, Sudhi Ranjan from the Bloomberg, sir. On the Qatar case, if you could give us an understanding, we understand that this would have been a pardon from the Emir. Who then moved the, mercy petitions? Was it Government of India or the veterans themselves?
So we have one more here. Sahil.
Sir, I'm Sahil from ANI. Regarding this big diplomatic victory, how did India manage it and how did they process it?
Listen, insofar as all the questions relating to Qatar and the return of 7 of the 8 Indian nationals who are back in India are concerned, I think we've already answered, issued a statement. Whatever is to be said on that has been said, and I would not have anything further to add. Kolol, to your question with regard to the number of Indian prisoners in the UAE and in Qatar, and indeed in other countries, not just these two countries. The Government of India has extensive mechanisms in place of consular dialogues and discussions involving the Indian system and the systems in those countries whose one of the principal tasks is to keep working towards the early release of all the Indian prisoners, irrespective of which country they are. There are also very established mechanisms and systems in place which ensure that whatever assistance, wherever possible, is to be made available to these prisoners is made available through the government mechanisms. These are the systems which have been strengthened enormously, whose remit has been expanded extensively, where strong support by the government is embedded in them. These have been put in place particularly over the last 10 years under the ministership of Honorable Prime Minister Modi. This applies very much, as I said, to the current two countries also where Honorable Prime Minister is visiting. And there are established dialogue mechanisms which take up that. I don't want to prejudge the discussions that would take place at the leadership level, but I want to mention to you that this is something which is very regularly and extensively taken up on the system-wide basis by the Government of India. To the question from the Hindu Business Line on the $2 billion investments on the food park, as I mentioned to you in response to one of the earlier questions, all projects that have been identified under I2U2 and food park project predates, even the I2U2. Those discussions are continuing between the relevant stakeholders on the UAE side as also on the Indian side, because some of these parties on the Indian side and the UAE side are private sector parties. So the project and the discussions under those projects continue to be held between the two sides. Nothing else?
You had asked again. Sir, one last question we have. Madhu here.
सर मधुरेंद्र, मैं न्यूज़ नेशन से। जैसा कि प्रधानमंत्री अबू धाबी में पैप्स के मंदिर के उद्घाटन के लिए जा रहे हैं, तो मैं जानना चाहूँगा कि इस पूरे ही कार्यक्रम का प्रारूप क्या होगा। खासतौर पर प्रधानमंत्री वहाँ पर जब उद्घाटन करेंगे तो जो पूजा पाठ की श्रृंखला होगी वो क्या होगी, और साथ ही क्या मंदिर से प्रधानमंत्री संबोधित भी करेंगे।
देखिए, बैप्स मंदिर का जो इनॉग्रेशन का प्रोग्राम है वो प्रधानमंत्री जी के यूएई यात्रा का एक प्रमुख अंग है। उसकी विस्तृत जानकारी जो इनॉग्रेशन से पहले है, उसकी क्या रूपरेखा होगी, वहाँ पे कितने लोग उपस्थित होंगे। अभी तक की जानकारी ये है कि लगभग 2000 से 5000 श्रद्धालुओं की उपस्थिति की अपेक्षा है वहाँ पर। प्रोग्राम काफ़ी विस्तृत है। उसकी जो प्रत्यक्ष रूप से रूपरेखा है, उस रूपरेखा का समय सारणी क्या रहेगी, उसके क्या भाग रहेंगे, वो हम आपको इनॉग्रेशन से यथापूर्वक और यथोचित समय पे सूचित अवश्य करेंगे। देखिए, मैंने आपसे कहा कि उस प्रोग्राम का जो स्वरूप है, उसकी जो रूपरेखा है, हम उसके बारे में आपको पूरी तरह से सूचित करेंगे।
Well, thank you. There are no more questions. We close this session. Thank you very much for your participation and look forward to our engagement. I'm sure some of you are traveling or your teams are traveling to UAE.